This is Joy here from Joy's Memory Lane. I'm going to try something a little new today. I want to show you a process video of how I'm going to complete a layout today using a sketch. And I will show you some options of how you can change up a sketch and how you can make it your own. So I'm also going to be featuring one of the newest Croptoberfest products. So you're getting a little bit of a sneak of the new project recipe kit. They are an awesome deal, $13.50, and I'm going to show you what comes in it. And you can order that from me at the end of the video. I'll let you know how you can do that. But I would love it if you'd like to create along with me. And obviously you might not have this, you won't have this yet unless you are an advisor. So you can grab, I'll let you know some options of what you can use that you might already have in your stash. Here is the sketch I'm using, and I'm going to show you why this is really fun to do something like this. You can use a previous sketch. This is from August 2020. You can see that there. And I like to recycle sketches because there's a lot of really fun, versatile sketches out there. And Creative Memories at the home office have wonderful designers that have created things that are very versatile. So you can look at this sketch and do it just as it is, which I'm going to show you today. But you can also take this and rotate. So this is representing one page. This is the second page of a two-page layout. But by turning it now, I can use this with pictures that go horizontal and change it up a little bit. So there is no right or wrong how you use a sketch, but I'm going to use this one as my guide today. So I'm just going to put that aside. I've done a little bit of pre-cutting just to make it a little bit shorter here, but you can stop and start this video at any time to follow along if you'd like. But you will need a personal trimmer, your 12-inch trimmer. We're going to be using just the straight blade today. I like precision point adhesive, which is our liquid glue, which comes in a very handy pen. We'll use regular tape runner, repositionable tape runner, our microtip scissors to do some fussy cutting. They are really handy for this because it has a really sharp tip. And I'm going to be using the new Autumn Leaves Decorative Border Punch. And we're going to be creating this really pretty border. And I've used 3 different colors on here. I'll show you how to do that. And just to show you what comes in our project recipe kit, what you will get is a cutting guide to make 2 two-page layouts. So they show you everything that comes in it with the papers that you're going to be cutting. And we have, they call them spreads, a 2-page spread. Here's spread 1, and we have spread 2. So you can use this, follow it along. They're very well written, easy to follow. You will have great, beautiful pages. But I wanted to show you up some different ways that you might use this kit. So it comes with this beautiful sticker sheet. Really cute. It's obviously for fall, but doesn't have to be just for fall. If you didn't use, say, these oak leaves and the acorns, the other things can make really cute pages. And if you're in an area like us where we've got squirrels, look, isn't that fun? A little whimsical blue squirrel with a pretty pattern on it. And look at these nice border strips. They come up just like that, ready to go. And some little moths and some foliage. Now here we have the papers that come in the pack. Comes with 4 sheets of double-sided print paper. And you have 2 of this. There's the other side. Excuse me, there's 6 sheets. This is this light blue with this pretty brown, kind of a wood grain print there. And I love this squirrel print. Has these cute squirrels. So they've made it a little more whimsical. Navy blue, and on this side, this is my favorite paper of all. It's kind of like a vine leaf pattern in this gorgeous boysenberry color. All of that comes together along with cardstock. You have 1 sheet of white and 1 sheet of navy. But today I'm just going to be using 2 of the sheets from this and doing some cutting, and then we will do a technique called welding. So if you've never done that, I'm going to show you a neat way. It stretches your paper and also decreases some bulk in your album. So what I'm going to do is take this paper first, and I'm going to do only 2 cuts of paper to create this layout. We will cut this first. I'm at 8 inches across the top. I'm using that ruler. Do 1 cut. Now I have this piece 8 inches and 4 inches. Just put those aside. Then I will take the plaid paper and I will do the same thing. Cut this again at the 8 inches. But because this is directional, I'm just going to make sure that my oak leaves are going vertically and do a cut. I'm going to flip over this side because I do want to use the oak leaves, and I'm going to use the plaid on this. And we are finished cutting. Now to do the welding, I like to use strips from our index sheets from our paper packs. So here you can see there's the printed side. 1/2 inch to 1 inch is all you need. Or you can just take any scrap cardstock that you may have. But let me show you first how we're going to lay this out. We're going to go like this. We are going to mix the papers up now and move them around. And you can change this up, but this is the pattern that I chose. So if you look back at our sketch, you can see how these papers are lining up. And just side to side. But I'm going to flip these over so that I can weld these together. And welding is simply matching up pieces of paper, putting them back together so that you create the size you need. So I need to make these 2 papers, which I cut up, glue them together with the opposite paper, and create another 12 by 12 sheet. So you can do this one of 2 ways. I like to take my, what I call the welding strip, which is just this piece of scrap or cardstock, and you just put some adhesive on all the way down. Be kind of generous, and that's why I use the regular tape runner, because it is a little stronger than our Repo. And if you just line this up on your 13 by 13 mat, just use any straight line to line up your paper. And then you just take your welding strip, and you can see where I have it here. I'm just going to be overlapping the paper about halfway over the edge. And this pattern on the paper makes it really easy for me to line this up. This does not have to be perfectly straight. It's not going to be seen. Now I'm going to take my whole sheet now that I just welded. I added that strip. Let's flip that over. Now I just have to take this piece of paper. Just make sure you have the right side that you want up. And I'm going to line that up because I've already added the adhesive to my strip. I'm just going to lay that right down on my welding strip, match up those edges, and voila, I have a 12 by 12 piece of paper. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. So let's flip this over, and I will take my second welding strip, do the same thing. It doesn't matter which side of this I use because I'm going to cover this up completely. Just joining those 2 pieces of paper together. I will line this up on a straight line on this mat, and lining it up on the bottom, cover it up about halfway, half of this strip on there. Press that down. Now I'm going to flip this over. I can take my other piece of paper that I want to weld together, line that up right on that edge, and my welding strip is covered, and I have another 12 sheet piece of paper. So no one would ever know. So that's how these are going to be in my book, 2-page layout. Now I'm simply going to be taking, I'm going to show you how to make this. Well, actually, let's go ahead and cover up this seam. So if you can see our sketch here, they added a strip. That can be a sticker, that can be a piece of paper. So let's just take, I'm going to take the green. This is that pretty oak leaf pattern. I guess I fibbed here. I do need to cut again. And I'm going to cut just a 1/2 inch. Let's go with a 1/4 inch. Let's go smaller. Just a 1/4 inch strip. And on this trimmer, a 1/4 inch, here's my cutting line on this dashed line. On the left, it's just below the number telling me which side I'm on. And if you go all the way to the end of that gray strip, you have a 1/4 inch. This trimmer is awesome for cutting nice thin strips like this. So I'm going to take my repositionable adhesive, run this down the center of this, and we'll just add this. I can either put it to the side or I can overlap it. I think I'll put it right next to this boysenberry paper and just line it up. Gives me a nice clean edge to line it up. And I have that just to finish that edge off. Now to make this border, let me go ahead and put these just aside for just a moment. And we're going to use some cardstock. There is a cardstock pack that matches this, called the Cardstock Sampler Pack for Croptoberfest. And here are 3 of the colors that are in there: Bronze Shimmer, Crimson, and Olive. Olive is back. We've had olive before. Love it. It's a great green color, perfect for all year round, but you know, it's very nice for fall, this kind of muted green. So with this Autumn Leaves border punch, I'm going to cut 1 of each of these colors. So to use our border punches, if you haven't used them before, when they're closed, there is a little lock to keep that flat, and it's great for storage, takes up less room. When I want to use it, I simply slide that lock, open it up, and it springs open. And it has this lever inside, so it's got a good strong spring in there. On the front of our punch, we have these little black lines. These lines are going to allow us to match up our paper. So to start, I'm going to take this edge. You can either go left or right, but I'm going to move to my left today. I'm going to start off with my paper at this. I'm using a scrap, so it's not sticking out. So when I flip it over, you can see where I have this edge, that leading edge of the paper, lined up to the opening. And I'm going to flip it over. Punch. I'm going to keep going. We just slide this over to cover up the blue on the tray, and that allows me to repeat my pattern. And do this again until I come to the end of this strip. And you do have to be a little careful because some of these little detailed edges can get caught. So I'm left with this beautiful leaf punch, leaf strip. Okay, this is a scrap. I can put that aside. I will do the same now for the crimson. Again, lining that up in the inside there. And these border punches are versatile. You can think of different ways to use them besides a border. I'll be sharing some other ways to use border punches that you can punch around a circle or an oval, and you can create a wreath design. All right, now the third paper with our olive. Again, just lining that up right with that black line, that edge of the paper here, holding it to the back of the tray. I punch. I'm going to line it up again on this, covering up that blue design so I can get my nice repeat. Slide it along. And again. Almost done. There we go. So I have now punched 1 of each of these 3 colors. So there's all different ways that I can use these. I can simply stack them and layer them, so you get a little bit of a shadow effect. I could have them just going down a page. I can take any of these and flip it, and you get a little bit different pattern. A little hard to see on that. Let's see if I can show you on this white piece. So if I take that and I flip this one, now my leaves are going in opposite directions. So that's pretty. But today I'm going to show you how I did this one. And I learned this detail that I've added on here from one of my teammates who adds this really nice detail to our leaves. So that we will do last, but we are going to start with this. What I did was I used that olive green as my base. And then I added the bronze shimmer on top. So I just staggered it just a little bit. And for this, I'm going to use my repositionable adhesive because this is forgiving. If I want to, let's see, I think I will put it on my bronze because this will allow me to rub off any excess that I don't need. The repositionable adhesive is great for projects like this where I might have to take it back off and reposition it. And I'm just creating a little bit of a shadow. If you'll look along that top edge, I'm just going to try to make it uniform down all the way down my border. So I get just a little bit of that green peeking through on the back. Now for this, I can simply, as I said, take it and do that. But I wanted to make it a little more interesting. So that's what we're going to be using our microtip scissors for, and do a little fussy cutting. So if you look at the way this border punches, it comes off with this flat edge. So I'm just going to trim that up, make it a little prettier, and try to get a curve on this side of this leaf, just so it's not a straight end there. And then I will take some of these and cut them up. Now I can choose any leaves on here, and I like odd numbers, so I chose to just highlight 7 of these leaves with this beautiful crimson color. So I'm just going to take these and I'm going to cut them apart. So just using my scissors just to do a little fussy cutting. I'm just cutting apart, imagining where this leaf is, because on this border they are overlapping each other. So you just have to kind of use your imagination. And a trick for fussy cutting is to hold this so that you can rotate the piece in your free hand and your cutting hand stays in a comfortable position. So I'm just keeping it there, and I'm just taking my left hand and rotating my paper to get the shape I want. So you can see I need an oak there. And I guess that's a maple leaf. I keep calling it the wrong thing. Here's my oak leaf, right? Let's cut this off here. No right or wrong how you want to cut these. Now I need one of these. I'm guessing that it's an aspen leaf, maybe. Again, turning this so that I can hold it in my free hand and just turn it so my hand holding the scissors can stay in a comfortable position. Now cutting that apart gave me this maple leaf here. Just trim off a little piece there. Then I need another oak leaf. We just keep continuing down our border to get the shapes I want. Another one of these cute little kind of heart-shaped leaves. And I need one more, which has already been cut off. I'm just going to clean it up here. So now I have a choice. I can add my little detail on now, or I can wait until I put it all together. So to do that, forgot to take this out. This is my multi-purpose tool. This is a really handy thing from Creative Memories. It's a must-have. We use it for so many things. But this pointed tip on the end here gives me a little bit of a, like a stylus, and I can add some detail. So I'm going to take my leaf, and I'm just going to draw a line like where these veins would be on the leaves. And I'm just drawing it from the stem to the point, and just any of these that I want to, I can radiate out from that center. It's up to you how many you want to put in, but it just makes it a little more realistic, gives it some more detail. Again, I start with that center, go out towards the ends of the leaves. You can do them however you like. You can make them realistic, or you can make them whimsical. So we'll just do that to each of these that I just fussy cut. Just continue down. So maybe a little hard on camera to see. Let me hold one of these up. But what I'm doing is creating these little lines, just to mimic veins on the leaves. And the last one here. Now, I can leave them like this, leave them flat, but if I do a little bit of folding or creasing along these lines, I get a little bit more dimension. Just makes them a little more interesting. So I'm creasing up gently on that center one and just on a couple of these, not every one. But if you'll look, I still have enough of a flat area that I can glue on. So I'll just do this one at a time. Just a gentle crease up there. Bend a couple of these. So it kind of reminds me of, you know, leaves when they're falling on the ground, and you'll see them kind of starting to wrinkle up. But even a leaf, when it's growing on the tree, most leaves are not completely flat. They have a little bit of dimension, so we want to just recreate that. So wherever I like, continue on. And I just kind of use my fingernail just to kind of press into the leaf. What we've done with our multi-purpose tool is almost use it to score them. Okay, so I have that done. So to make it a little more interesting, I could place the leaf just like that, but I've skewed them, if you'll look at my example, slightly. And that just allows a little more of the bronze shimmer behind it to show. So I can use this precision point adhesive, which has a nice ballpoint tip, which allows me to direct the glue exactly where I want it. And I'm just going to put a little bit down the center rib of that leaf and just a few dots on the side and place my leaf. So if you can see, I've got it a little bit slanted there, and I'm only pressing down where the glue is, so it allows those little edges to stick up. I'll do that again now for this oak leaf. This glue is very strong. It can be used as a repositionable adhesive. If you allow it to dry, it becomes a little tacky, and then it's kind of makes things like a sticker. But if you use it when it's still blue, it creates a permanent bond and dries very quickly. And just kind of skewing that so I can see all the layers. Let's do that one to this. Take that. So some of you may not be fans of fussy cutting, thinking it's just too tedious, but I think the effect is worth it. I love it. It's kind of relaxing, taking apart something and seeing what else you can create with it. And you can fussy cut an image out of a piece of designer paper, or use any of our tools, our punches, border maker cartridges, and then just cut apart some of the shapes. So there you have it. Now, again, I'm going to do something a little extra. And because I've already added the vines to these leaves that I have pieced, I'm going to do the same for these on the bronze shimmer, since that's exposed as well. And just adding some of these leaf veins. It's really quick, really neat way to add some more interest. You don't want to do this, you can skip it. So let's take a couple more on there. There we go. So now you see I have my border with that design on there. So the top layer has that dimension just by not gluing the whole leaf flat. Okay. So now I'm going to take my paper that I have created with my welds, and I'm going to add my border. Let's get that out of the way. Don't need those. And you'll see the sketch. They have a border on the left-hand side. So I'm going to do the same thing. So I can use it this way. I think I will go this way. And I'm deciding on this side, the way the punch works, you end up with a flat edge. I think I'm going to go ahead and trim off a little bit of this so it doesn't look quite as flat. I just kind of want to round this up, just cheat a little bit. You can do whatever you want. I call it doing surgery on my strips there that I have punched. Just lining this up on my mat. I'm going to use repositionable adhesive on here so it gives me a little time. Decide how I want to place it. I think I'm going to place it, let's see. Okay, I had to pause a little bit. I was having a little coughing fit, so I am back. So on this side, according to the sketch, there is something here. So I use the paper here, but on this side, because I have the border on this side to balance it out, I'm going to use a sticker strip from this strip here on the project recipe kit sheet. And rather than putting it next to it, I'm going to cover up the seam. So I'm going to center this sticker right down the middle. And when I have a strip like this, they can get a little unwieldy, excuse me. So I kind of hold it up so that I can see where I'm placing this so that I know I'm getting it right down, and I don't push down on it firmly until I know it's where I want it to be, because these stick very well. So I'm just trying to make sure I center it down this seam. And if I hold that up again, I can see, excuse my head, where I'm going. I'm a little bit off center. That's why we don't press it down completely. Gives me a little bit of time. And there we go. So adding that there. So the other thing I like to do when I'm designing is to bring the colors from one side to the other. So you'll see in this plaid, you have all these colors. Over here, we're bringing those colors in to the other side. So we have, according to the sketch now, placement for 7 pictures. This is all up to you. You can decide where you'd like them. They have 2 here and a 4x6. If you like to match your photos, I just add 1/4 of an inch to each of the dimensions. So if I have a 4x6 photo, My mat will be 4 1/4 by 6 1/4. I did 2 4x3s here, which line up very nicely like a grid. On this side, there's a vertical, another horizontal, and we have a square, something like this. Now, you can decide how you like to do this. You can place them actually any way you like. And like I was saying, you can take this and rotate it. If you prefer your photos and you have them more in the other direction, but the way I've laid out my paper with this, it creates this neat illusion of seeing this piece of paper continue, and it makes your eye travel across. Any one of these could be used as a journaling box. You could just simply even write directly onto your layout or cut another piece of paper and do your journaling there. So I hope you got some ideas of how we can use a sketch and recycle it, even if it was not designed exactly for this set of pages.